Well, hello, it's me, Christ, for walking here to tell you, guys, about DestroyAllChildren.com. C-O-M. It's not an org or a .net. It's got video games. It's got comics. It's got, movies. Like my own movies. King Rat of New York. The P-Rat for C. Ratman Returns. Balls of Fury. All the hits. All in one place. Head on over there and see what you think. Or I'll stab you in the face. You prefer the movies, right? Nicely chosen.
alone, Steve, or I'll tell Mom on you.
Steve, are you talking to me?
Yeah, only I don't want to be, 'cause I'm trying to watch my cowboy show.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm telling you, I need your help. I've lost my memory.
Have not. Cut it out.
I'm telling you the truth.
You always were a kidder, Steve. Leave me alone. I'm sick.
What's wrong with you?
I got a headache and a stomachache.
Then why aren't you in bed?
'Cause I want to watch my cowboy show.
You look all right to me.
I'm not faking. I couldn't go to school because I'm sick. Daddy's sick in bed too. And Mom believes me anyway. So shut up.
Have you noticed that your show is in black and white?
What else? Color? On a TV?
Well, I think I've seen a colored television before.
Have not. Quit it or I'm gonna tell.
Hey, look at that. Your mother lets you watch this stuff?
Sure. This is part of history. What made America great. And besides, blood and guts are neato. I'm glad you're catching on, Steve. You're not too bad for a lousy rat. Good. Finally. Hey, Steve, I'm Jimmy James. Remember me?
I guess not.
Hey, how come you haven't been putting the paper out for me in the morning? Yeah? Well, try to remember, will ya? How'd you expect a working Joe to make an honest living? You don't put the paper out, I'm out of a job.
So what? You don't get paid for picking up papers anyway.
The Sentinel building burnt down. What the heck else am I supposed to do? Listen, start putting that paper out and everything will be Jake, okay? That's all I want. That and a pair of sneakers. Walking this route every day has worn holes in mine. Say, you got any spare sneakers? Oh, gee whiz. Look, if you find any, I'd be willing to trade you for them. Something really neato. Think about it. See you later, alligator. What? Leave me alone.
Look, You're my... Listen.
Steve, leave Hank alone right now.
Why am I a rat? What did I do to you?
You went and got all mushy on that girl, and now you're lighting out on me. Well, if that's the way you're gonna be, then you can drop dead.
What do you mean I'm lighting out on you?
First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes Steve in a baby carriage.
What the hell are you talking about?
Mom, Steve said hell.
Young man, don't you dare use that kind of language in this house.
How'd you like that? Yeah, well, you're in trouble. And you better not forget to take out the paper this morning. Don't try to weasel out of it. You know this is your week to put the paper out in the morning. If you forget again, I wouldn't want to be you when Jimmy catches up to you. Good.
Well, hello there. How about some cookies? There's plenty of rejects in the trash.
Who are you?
That's a fine way to talk to your mother.
You're my mother?
That's right. though sometimes I get treated like the hired help around here.
I don't remember you.
Of course you don't, until you need your socks washed.
No, you don't understand. I can't remember where I am or even who I am.
Land's sake, stop your joshing, won't you? Honestly, Steve, I thought you'd grow up a little after graduation. I only hope that new job will plant your feet on the ground.
So that's my name. Steve.
Your name will be M.U.D. Mud if you don't stop teasing me, young man.
Listen, this may sound strange, but I've lost my memory. Do you believe me?
Well, you always were a kidder, Steve.
I'm serious.
Sure, and next you'll be telling me you don't remember Hank and your little sister.
The bake sale is on Friday, and yet you're baking the cookies now.
Never put off till tomorrow what you can do today.
But they'll be stale by then.
That's why I'm throwing them away.
And then cooking more?
To replace the ones I throw out.
Why?
Well, I have to. No one's going to pay to eat stale cookies out of the garbage can.
But you expect me to.
Of course not, Steve. I wouldn't charge you. I'm your mother. Help yourself. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
Hey, Steve, I'm Jimmy James. Hey. Yeah. Oh. Hey, Steve, you've been doing a swell job putting the paper out in the morning. You just keep doing that and we won't have any problems. That's not much to ask, is it?
Yes?
I need some help, Mr.
Postmaster Boyle, what can I do for you today? Sorry, youngster, we're out of applications right now.
Come on, you must have one around here somewhere.
Well, I do have the master, but you can't write on that, and I only make copies once a month, on the button, regular as clockwork. Afraid not, son. You can't get them anywhere but the post office. I'm sorry, you'll just have to come back in a month, same as anyone else. And even then, I can't guarantee you'll get an application. The line is always long, and there are never enough to go around.
It's very important that I get in quickly.
That's what they all say. Postmaster Boyle, I'll just die if I don't get into the lodge. I can't make an exception, young man. It just wouldn't be right. Next time you post, don't forget the zip code.
Howdy, Steve.
Yeah. Howdy back, Mr.
Pete swell, Steve. Don't you pull my old leg now. Change your mind about that aluminum siding?
What are you talking about?
I really think you should talk your father into buying some. He can afford it. And I can't stress enough the value of some really fine aluminum siding. Keeps it warm in the summer, cool in the winter, and it keeps out the sheep. Pastorelli ought to look into some, but I can't get him to understand a word I say. Can't understand why Pastorelli keeps that nasty thing in here. Must remind him of the pastures in Italy. Kinda like why I keep wrenches under my pillow, so's I can dream about plumbing. Well, I seen the end coming for the aluminum siding game, so I took a mail course and learned how to be a plumber. Now, there's a business that never lets up. You'd be surprised what people flush down the toilet. Nice to see you again, Steve.
Hello there, youngster. They say them aliens I was telling you about, well, they came back last night. Cut another crop circle in my south field.
How come I never seen none of them saucers clam?
Them aliens is wild, Pete. You don't cross the intergalactic void without learning a trick or two. You know what Pastorelli did? Yesterday, he gets an alarm system to protect his pole. Only he don't know how to rig it, so now it's all awry. Pastorelli's a funny sort. Foreigner, don't you know? He cuts hair pretty good, but he don't know spit about nothing else. You just ask him to hook up an alarm system if you need convincing. Anytime, Steve.
Can I help you, dear?
Who are you?
This is Phelps General Store, so who would that make me? Maybe you need to go back to Gein Memorial and have Miss Whaley teach you about logic.
I'm fuzzy on a lot of things these days. My memory's gone.
Pshaw, you always were a kidder, Steve.
I'm serious, I need some help.
Well, they say a sharp blow to the head is a good thing for amnesia, in which case I'd recommend Miss Whaley again. Then again, they say a good scare can jog the memory, in which case I'd advise you to visit the Sergeant-at-Arms over at the lodge. That man gives me the willies. Speaking of willies, how's your father?
Don't know. Haven't seen him.
Care to buy anything today? Just point to whatever you want. I'm a little hard of hearing.
initiates may enter the Hall of the Order of the Harvest Moon.
Did you say something?
I did not speak, but my mind touched yours.
Telepathy? But how?
Only those who seek enlightenment warrant my attention. Do you hunger for true knowledge? There are always obstacles to the path. You must first fill out an application to be considered for initiation into the mysteries. Applications are available at the post office. Postmaster Boyle disseminates them to the uninitiated. I do not sully my hands.
Then I just fill it out and return it to you, or what?
You may find it difficult to obtain an application. You will no doubt need to find some way to persuade Postmaster Boyle to give you one in the middle of the month, as it is against his rules. When you do, however, bring it to me, and if you are worthy, you will be put to the test.
Hello, Steve. Care to buy? Just point to whatever you want.
Sorry, son, no time to talk. Neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor hell shall keep the mail from its appointed rounds. Next time you post, don't forget the zip code.
What were you thinking? Attacking someone like that? With so many witnesses around? You'll have plenty of time to think about it, boy.
Somebody help me! What do you people want from me?
Too late for that, boy. Ain't it, Sergeant?
Indeed it is, Sheriff. Answers may only be found in the lodge, and you must be alive to seek them.
During a tactical operation, we communicate two ways, through lash radio headsets and hand signals. The lash radio headset functions by capturing the vibrations from your throat. You're going to want to whisper when using the lash. Anything louder than a whisper will cause distortion and jeopardize our communication. Verbal communication should be kept brief, lest a suspect hears you. If you need a trailer to enter a room and cover a cleared area, you need only say, "Trailer, cover window," nothing more. The trailer will come to you and set up on the window. If you're sniper team number 1 and you've arrived at your position, the simple sentence, "High ground 1 in position," will do.
Barricaded female, North Hollywood area, 339 Westcott Avenue. Shots fired, code 3.
This is Sergeant Pruitt with the LAPD. Lucy, if you can hear me, I want you to answer the telephone. We're here to help you. Please pick up the telephone and talk with me.
It's my wife, Lucy. Lucy Long. She's holed up in the house. She won't come out, won't let me in. Like I told that other officer, she's been mixed up a lot lately. Ain't that so, Katie? This is my daughter, Katie. Go ahead, hon, you tell the officer.
My mom's always been real protective of our family, but it's different now. It's like she's not just protective, she's angry or paranoid or something. I don't know what. I think she's become dangerous. She has a gun now, and she shot at me and my dad this morning.
That's right, and she damn near killed us, too. See, yesterday, she threw me out of the house, hollering she weren't gonna let me back in. She locked all the doors. Neighbors across the street were looking. So I walked down to Katie's. She just lives in the apartments over on Maroa. So I spent the night there. This morning, Katie brung me back home. We was walking up to the house, and Lucy started shooting at us. That's when I called the police.
I understand, sir. We'd like for your wife to come out on her own so we can get her some help. But if she won't, and the possibility exists she might hurt herself, we might have to go in and get her. I was just briefing Mr. Long on the possibility that we might have to enter his home.
Mr. Long, our crisis negotiation team is currently on the telephone with your wife. There's some concern that she may be delusional. Now, I realize I've already asked you to explain the physical layout of your house and property, but in case we need to go in and get her, I want to make sure that we're prepared. Is there anything else that you can tell me about the house's layout?
Well, of course, you've seen the boards in the front windows. She's got all the windows boarded up like that.
Pup, see what you can learn from the Long's neighbors.
Hey! Hey, since this is your first time out, a little advice for you. Do as you're told. Hey!
How you doing, pup? Don't worry about this one. Everything's gonna be fine. I was on the scout with Packmeyer and Rooker. There are limited ports of entry, and those that are there are pretty well boarded up. I think we have a captive audience. Who knows? Maybe she'll come out on her own.
Hello, you must be the neighbor.
Yes, I'm Mr. Devon. I've been living across from the Longs for the last 10 years. When I first moved in, they were real nice. Showed me and my wife the neighborhood. Yeah, hadn't been the same in the last few years. You know the wife, Lucy? She beats that old man real bad, all day long. You cops been out here. I'm getting to know you guys on a first-name basis.
Excuse me.
How you doing? I'm Sergeant Pete Monroe. My partner, Officer Lewis, and I are the responding officers. When we arrived, we found Mr. Long quite agitated, and when questioned, he stated that as he and his daughter approached the residence, his wife opened the door and fired a .22 pistol at them. He said she fired 4 or 5 rounds, all misses. He then came across the street to Mr. Devon's residence and asked to use the phone. That's where the 911 call was placed.
Excuse me.
Hello. Bob Lewis, Hollywood Division. We've been called out here to the Longs before for domestic disputes. The husband calls us out, but refuses to press charges against his wife. We found him with bruises to his face and arms. When we questioned Mrs. Long in the past, she seemed off balance but never threatening. We referred them both to social services for counseling, but nothing's ever come of it.
How you doing? Good. You'll do fine. Just listen to Packmeyer.
How you doing? Okay, how you doing? This is your first call up, isn't it? Well, don't sweat it. Just do your job. No heroics.
Hey, how you doing? This your first time out? You'll be all right. Just keep your eyes open for hazards.
Excuse me, sir.
Did you speak with a neighbor?
Yes, sir.
Good. We'll be briefing in a few minutes. You can share the information you have at that time.
Excuse me, sir.
Sergeant Rooker and I'll be calling the briefing in a few minutes. Stand by.
Excuse me, sir.
Sergeant Rooker and I'll be calling the briefing in a few minutes. Stand by.
Excuse me, sir.
Sergeant Rooker and I'll be calling...
Briefing!
The situation as we know it is this. We have a barricaded white female inside the residence. She's 64 years old and she suffers from various health maladies. She's diabetic and she suffers from a heart condition that requires the use of medication. CNT tells me she's delusional. She thinks the activity outside the house are gangbangers trying to break in. She's a shooter. Approach knowing she's armed and dangerous.
This is the layout of the house. On side 1, we have a front door entrance. This is a dangerous approach as it has 2 windows to contend with. The large front window and a small kitchen window. To compensate for that, we've placed snipers here on this side of the street to watch those ports. Apparently, this house has been somewhat fortified over the years. The garage has been sealed off from the house. Side 3 has one opening, a barricaded window. While negotiations continue with the suspects, we're going to place an emergency assault team on side 1 for entry through opening 2. The emergency entry team will consist of the following: Rhea, scout; Denton, rear guard; Packmeyer, element lead. For rear containment, side 3, Pup and Wixel. Any questions? Sounds like the fat's in the fire. Line up for deployment. Let's go!
MP5s, full auto.
Suspect 1-2 corner.
This is the LAPD! Put the gun by your right foot! Suspect! Put your hands over your head now!
Your training and hard work paid off today. We have our suspect in custody and no lives were lost. As with every call-up, today's situation proved we can never truly know what a suspect will do or forecast how a situation will resolve. As we've learned, we can know our tactics, our jobs, and our mission. These are advantages we have. Today we had a few mistakes. I'm calling them mistakes as opposed to willful disregard of human life due to my generous nature. However, I'm not so generous as to allow undisciplined officers to jeopardize the safety of this element with flagrant acts. Pup, I'm placing you under probation status. Your actions in the field today could have resulted in fatal consequences. As it was, things worked out your way this time. Next time, you or your fellow officers may not be that lucky. I suggest you learn to work as a member of your element, Pup. Learn to follow orders. Do the job you're assigned. The very lives of your element depend on it. Dismissed.
Sounds like the fat's in the fire. Line up for deployment. Let's go!
MP5s, full auto. Ready? Go! Pup, get moving!
Sounds like the fat's in the fire. Line up for deployment. Let's go!
MP5s, full auto. Ready? Go! Pup, get moving!
Suspect. Level 2. Level 2.
Pup, the lash is not a toy. Confine your comments to the situation at hand.
In position. Coming out. Level 2.
Pup, the lash is not a toy. Confine your comments to the situation at hand.
Compromised.
Pup, the lash is not a toy. Confine your comments to the situation at hand.
Suspect. Left.
Pup, the lash is not a toy. Confine your comments to the situation at hand.
Where? What is it?
Lucy, this is the police. We are here to help you. Lucy, will you let us help you?
Sounds like the fat's in the fire. Line up for deployment. Let's go!
MP5s, full auto. Ready? Go! Pup!
Where? What is it? Lucy!
Today was not a victory but a defeat. We were not successful in saving the life of the suspect we wished to apprehend. Rather, we lost that life and jeopardized the lives of others. It is true that the suspect determines the outcome of a crisis, but it's our responsibility to help guide the suspect towards a peaceful resolution. Remember, a truly successful resolution is one where no shots are fired. An investigation is being conducted into today's events. You will be cooperative, helpful, and honest when dealing with investigators. Until the investigation is complete, I'm suspending Pup from active duty status. Pup, today you acted alone and without regard to your element. You let your fellow officers down. Until this investigation is completed, I think it's best that you continue to train and study, but not participate in any call-ups. That's all. Dismissed.